Now at 5, the downpour of rain is causing flooding issues in parts of the 4 states. Plus, why a bill to extend the mandatory sentences of certain crimes stalls in the Oklahoma Senate. And
presidential immunity and the former president's federal election interference case now before the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm Natalie Brand with why legal analysts say the justices have their work cut out for them.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's been raining all day throughout the 4 states, causing flooding problems in parts of the area. The downpour isn't going to stop anytime soon. This is KOIM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, some areas have picked up some very heavy amounts of rain for us today, and we are going to have periods of showers and thunderstorms over the next several days. Heaviest rain now is in our northern counties. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning in western parts of Vernon County that has expired, but we are getting some strong storms out there. You can see the lightning, Bourbon, Vernon County, but most of our severe weather is still over the next few days. All right, let's zoom in. Here's Iola over toward Fort Scott, pretty good cell just north of Fort Scott. Let's track a little farther east. Here's Nevada, big cell there, big cell just southeast of Nevada. And then by the time you work farther south, finally drying out just a bit across the metro. But as we go through the overnight hours, this batch rolls out, but late tonight, another one rolls in. We're going to be talking about that in our severe threat here in just a bit.
See you soon. All this heavy rain is leading to flooding in parts of the 4 states. This is video of Northeast Star Valley Road in Cherokee County, Kansas. With all the rain, it's important to remember the old saying while driving, turn around, don't drown. The mother of a 1999 Welch, Oklahoma murder victim is advocating for justice. But it seems, at least for now, her push for reform is stalled. In 1999, Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman went missing, and Danny and Kathy Freeman were found dead. It wasn't until 2018 that a suspect, Ronnie Busick, was arrested. Busick pleaded guilty to accessory to murder in that case and was sentenced to 10 years in prison with 5 years probation. However, after 2.5 years, Busick was released. Laura and Ashley's law would add to the list of crimes mandating offenders to serve a longer portion of their sentence. It was passed by the Oklahoma House and Senate Judiciary Committee, but is now stalled. Today was the last day for the bill to be heard on the Senate floor. Laura's mother, Laureen Bible, says she'll have to try again to see if it can be filed next year. We're going to have more from her tonight at 9 and 10. A Joplin High School junior is going to spend the summer participating in an MIT program. Christian Kavanagh will engage in a prestigious opportunity available to only about 80 students globally. It offers a 6-week residential experience aimed at introducing rising seniors to technology, engineering, and science in Boston.
It feels great because, again, you know, I have a passion for STEM, and I take a lot of time out of my day to practice STEM and to learn about STEM. And so, taking part in this program it really helps me truly know that, you know, I have a place in STEM.
It's very rewarding because I feel like I've helped them a little bit.
Nearly 4,100 students applied this year, and academic record is one of the factors considered for acceptance. Kavanagh hopes the program will help him reach his goals of going to MIT for college and being a physics researcher. Okay. Students in McDonald County today helped fight hunger in their community. The organization Meals of Hope partnered with McDonald County FFA to pack meals of rice and beans for local residents in need. They packed an impressive 25,000 meals today, working together in assembly lines to make sure no one goes hungry.
I hope to gain that, I don't know, like next year I hope we have way more involvement. That way a lot of people do it. It actually helps people in need. I'm just glad that that is there for it.
This is the second year the students have packed meals. The United States Supreme Court heard arguments today about whether former President Donald Trump should have immunity as he faces charges of interfering in the 2020 presidential election. But the justices were keenly aware their decision will have an impact on presidential powers for decades to come. Natalie Brand has more details from the Supreme Court.
We're
Yes.
writing a rule for
Yes.
the ages.
The 9 justices are faced with a question that's never been before the High Court, whether a former president is immune from criminal prosecution.
If a president can be charged, put on trial, and imprisoned for his most controversial decisions as soon as he leaves office, that looming threat will distort the president's decision-making precisely when bold and fearless action is most needed.
There is no immunity that is in the Constitution unless this court creates it today.
The justices appeared skeptical of Trump's attorney's arguments of broad immunity.
He talks to his generals all the time, and he told the generals, I don't feel like leaving office. I want to stage a coup. Is that immune?
If it's an official act, there needs to be impeachment and conviction beforehand.
But some suggested former presidents might have some immunity. They also delved into the difference between official and unofficial acts.
There are many other people who are subject to impeachment, including the 9 sitting on this bench. And I don't think anyone has ever suggested that impeachment would have to be the gateway to criminal prosecution for any of the many other officers subject to impeachment. So why is the president different?
In questioning that lasted nearly 3 hours, legal analysts saw the justices wrestling with where to draw the line.
I absolutely do not count to 5, meaning 5 out of the 9 justices on either extreme position, on either that there's no immunity or that there's absolute immunity.
Legal analysts say the Supreme Court's opinion could delay Trump's federal election interference trial until after the November election. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Now, normally the justices wouldn't issue a ruling on a case heard in late April until sometime in June or July. But the special counsel's office has asked the court to make a decision soon in order to be able to go to trial. It's not known how long the court will take before issuing its ruling. Still ahead, playing defense.
Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin has a new role after his cardiac arrest on the field last year. I'm Wendy Gillette with information to keep your heart healthy.
Plus, what a new study shows about the risk breast cancer survivors have of developing other cancers. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, heart health has taken on more significance in the NFL after Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest during a game last year. Wendy Gillette reports from New York on how Hamlin has become an ambassador to improve the response to cardiac emergencies.
Bills safety Damar Hamlin has returned to life as normal, on and off the field. But now part of his daily routine revolves around his heart after he suffered cardiac arrest during a game in Cincinnati in January 2023.
Make sure you take preventative measures, get screening and, just check up on your health, but also know the, reactive measures.
Hamlin recently took part in an event in New York City as captain of HeartMates, a partnership with the medical device company Abbott to build a community of those who know the struggle of heart conditions, including 8-year-old Tony Daly from Las Vegas, who underwent surgery to close a hole in his heart when he was born premature.
We like to think of him as our miracle baby and as a way of spreading it back to everybody that may be in a similar situation.
Hamlin's cardiac arrest on the field helped a national TV audience see the importance of access to defibrillators and learning how to perform CPR.
You could learn CPR and, you can save a life. You're just as good as Superman.
Cardiologists say it's also imperative to keep your heart healthy, so emergency steps won't be needed.
The simple stuff really matters, and so blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, staying active, not smoking, eating a healthy diet, maintaining good stress levels, sleeping well.
That resonates with Lakeisha Brown from Houston, who developed advanced heart failure and received an Abbott heart device. She sees how Hamlin's heart crisis has improved awareness.
People are becoming more aware. If they're not feeling well or that type of thing, they'll go to the doctor, I think, a little bit more.
She knows firsthand that taking action is vitally important to recovery. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Hamlin's visiting hospitals all across the nation to raise awareness about heart conditions. New research out of the University of Cambridge finds survivors of breast cancer are at a significantly higher risk of developing second cancers. They include endometrial and ovarian cancers for women and prostate cancer for men. The study showed women under the age of 50 who were diagnosed with breast cancer were 86% more likely to develop a second cancer compared to the general population of the same age. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, what you should know about vehicle safety.
Many small SUVs fail to prevent a head-on crash at high speeds. I'm Naomi Ruckham with the results of a new test.
Plus, our severe threat is going up over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming out. Well, of course, turned out to be a very wet day for us today. Showers, thunderstorms across the region. Haven't had much in the way of severe weather, which is good, but we've had a lot of very heavy rains across the area. We still have scattered showers and thunderstorms right now, but drying out a little bit. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, look at the showers and thunderstorms still ongoing. In our northern counties, very heavy amounts of rain, but Pittsburgh, Joplin, Neosho, Miami, you guys are dry right now after very heavy amounts of rain earlier. Let's go ahead and take a tour. So here's Yates Center, Iola, and then Fort Scott, all getting showers and thunderstorms. Let's track farther east. So Highway 54, Nevada, you're getting hit pretty good, a pretty good cell just to the west of Stockton as well. But look at the rain through the morning hours. Very heavy amounts of rain, especially along and north of the I-44 corridor. And then, of course, we still have the showers and thunderstorms in our northern counties. Check this out. Look at these stripes. Where you see these red stripes, this is showing us 5 inches of rain. So if we zoom in, Carthage had the flooding. They picked up 5 to 6 inches of rain, or Oronogo about 5 inches of rain. And that stripe all the way back through northern parts of Cherokee County, still about 3 to 4 inches in Parsons. We need the rain. We don't need the flash flooding, of course, across the region. All right, out to the west, here's where the big severe weather is going to be tonight. This is going to lift into parts of Nebraska, and then we're going to watch thunderstorms that fire up across the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas, and those will race toward us and affect us later on tonight. So we do actually have a severe threat late tonight, but we're going to call it Friday because it's technically Friday. Level 2 out of 5. So we are looking from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then again tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Main threats, hail and wind. Low tornado threat. We're going to elevate hail, wind, and rain. All right, so let's look at it. Let's zoom in. We get a little bit of a lull over the next couple hours. Here's 2 a.m. Showers, thunderstorms start to pop up in our far western counties. Here's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Storms race in. So here's 7 a.m. Some of these could be strong to severe. Main threat again, hail and wind, push in. So they're through the metro by about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll push off toward the east. Here's where it gets tricky. If we can clear out, see sunshine, we'll get additional storms late afternoon. If the clouds hang back a little bit, we're not going to have to worry about these, but we'll have scattered thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. Some of those could be strong to severe, and we'll have a tornado threat with those. Saturday, level 3 out of 5. Again, timing 5 p.m., 8 a.m. Hail, wind, tornadoes. We're going to elevate tornado, hail, wind, and very heavy amounts of rain as we get into Saturday. We'll start with just cloudy skies, but once we get into the afternoon, here we go again. Big time storms working in. This is going to be our day. We have a much higher threat for severe weather. All right, alert days tomorrow. Saturday, we didn't even get to talk about Sunday. Sunday also severe weather threat. Temps into the 70s to near 80, and thunderstorms sticking around next week as well.
Wow, people need to be careful and stay informed.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Doug. Coal-fired power plants now need to capture their smokestack emissions or shut down. That comes from the Environmental Protection Agency, which has announced new rules to reduce pollution from power plants. The changes will limit greenhouse gas emissions from new natural gas-fired power plants and existing coal-fired power plants. They'll also reduce the release of toxic metals and mercury from coal plants and expand federal oversight of coal ash. Environmental groups are applauding the changes.
This is the first time that the EPA is going to be regulating climate pollution from power plants. The age of uncontrolled climate pollution from power plants is finally over.
The new rules are likely to face opposition and legal challenges from Republican attorneys general who have in the past accused Democratic lawmakers of overreach on environmental regulations. Coming up, President Biden announces an agreement to increase semiconductor chip production in the U.S. Topping today's Consumer Watch, President Biden announces a $6 billion agreement with Micron to open 2 semiconductor chip factories in the U.S. The chips are used to power a variety of essential products, including smartphones, satellites, and artificial intelligence systems. A senior administration official says Micron is set to open a facility in Boise, Idaho by 2026 and another one in Clay, New York 2 years later. New vehicles come with crash avoidance systems, but new research shows they don't always work. Naomi Ruckham tells us where the vehicles fell short.
When put to the test, a new study finds the technology in most small SUVs doesn't prevent a front-end crash at real-world speeds. Overall, how did all the cars perform on the new test?
Yeah, unfortunately, many of the vehicles struggled.
David Ayler is with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, which tested the vehicle's ability to brake automatically when approaching a car or a motorcycle and warn drivers of a semi-trailer. In previous tests, the vehicles performed well at speeds around 25 miles per hour, but that changed at higher speeds of up to 43 miles an hour.
We know there's room for improvement, especially with targets like motorcycles.
Most of the vehicles failed to stop on their own with a motorcycle in the way, with many crashing right through the dummy before stopping. Out of 10 vehicles tested, only the Subaru Forester received a good rating.
They provided adequate warnings in all the scenarios, and they even had significant mitigation in the highest speed with the motorcycles.
The Honda CR-V and the Toyota RAV4 received acceptable ratings. 4 vehicles received a poor rating, including the Chevy Equinox and Mazda CX-5. Chevy's parent company, GM, and Mazda tell CBS News they are evaluating the new test and will look to identify improvements.
I know many of the manufacturers that didn't do quite as well will improve the systems.
The IIHS believes those upgrades will make their way to future models. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
A federal judge in Missouri has given the green light to the National Association of Realtors settlement. Groups of home sellers brought lawsuits against the NAR for its standard commission structure, saying it was a violation of antitrust laws. The judge granted preliminary approval to their $418 million settlement. The decision opens the door for possible changes in how people in the United States buy and sell their homes. The U.S. economy cooled more than expected in the first quarter of the year, but it remained healthy by historical standards. The Commerce Department reports gross domestic product, which measures all the services and goods produced in the economy, rose by 1.6% in the first quarter. That's the weakest pace of growth since the second quarter of 2022, when the economy contracted. It's a steep slowdown from the fourth quarter's 3.4% rate and also much less than economists expected. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, one of Harvey Weinstein's rape convictions is overturned. What motivated the decision? Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the Joplin High School student joining a summer program through MIT. Plus, the Skill Resource Center in Pittsburgh hosts a community appreciation lunch. And Pitt State's spring football game is tomorrow. We're going to tell you what to expect. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. We should all expect more rain on top of the substantial amounts we've already had.
We still have scattered showers and thunderstorms out there for us right now, but thunderstorms pick up again late tonight into tomorrow morning. Some of those could be severe, and then a severe threat again tomorrow afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday afternoon as well. So alert days across the board.
So be alert.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.